Hi, everybody. It's nice to see some familiar faces. Hi, Joyce. So, just real quickly, and I'm just going to share my screen here so we can formally get started because we've got a lot of fun stuff to go over and a short time to do it in. So, welcome to our class today to Social Media Marketing, the Game Plan 2026. This is an updated playbook of mine. I have been going over this presentation for years, but just to talk a little bit about myself, my name is Anthony Breed. I am CEO and founder of Smart RE Solutions. And prior to that, which I started that company because I moved out here to North Carolina, a little frigid today compared to California. So Nancy was telling me you guys are just enjoying the 80-degree weather and drought weather that y'all are having. And we just had basically a monsoon Saturday and Sunday, which took us from 75 degrees down to 42 today. So that's always fun. But prior to that, starting my own company, speaking training company, I was a member I was staff at Orange County Realtors. And some of you who are probably from that area, you've probably have sat through my training classes. Was there for almost 23 years, worked in the MLS department, and became their technology trainer, whereby I went around to the boards, brokerages, and things like that. And what I have been privileged to in this new venture is to be able to speak at other associations with the knowledge that I've earned and have gained that hopefully we can have regular classes on a regular basis. So whether it's MLS, whether it's the updated platform of ZipForms, which hopefully everybody's enjoying ZipForms Transact. And if you haven't, try it out because in October, November of this year, the regular ZipForms platform that you all have been used to using for the past 5 to 20 years is going away and is going to be replaced by Transact. So the forms editor will still be the same, but the entire platform is going to be different. So it's going to be now more client centric, like SkySlope and .loop. So it's going to be a really great asset. So you have access to that now because it is running in parallel. But that's who I basically am. I'm just a technology trainer. I train on these simple systems like MLS, zip forms. I even love training on AI, which hopefully we'll have a little dip of our toe in today with that. So, today being mostly lecture, I'm going to ask a real quick show of hands to everybody. And I see that we have lovely chats here. So I see that Nancy has put up some information. By the way, my information on how to contact me is also in the chat. But real quickly, just a quick show of hands to everybody. And I'm just going to make sure that I see all the participants here. How many people feel that social media or has that, feels, does social media still work for them? Anybody here feel that social media works? Good. I see a couple of thumbs up. Excellent. All right. Well, just a simple answer to that and why you're here is it does, right? It does work. It is another avenue of our marketing, right? In our industry, in sales, there are 1,001 ways to market. Some traditional, some not traditional, some or traditional and digital. Social media being a huge digital aspect. And in 2025, to astound you, there are more than 5.66 billion active users on some sort of social media platform. 58% of consumers, today's consumer clients, discovered new businesses and new products through some sort of social media. So if we think about this, maybe some of you attending today are just getting into real estate. Do I have anybody here that's new to real estate? Quick thumbs up or a quick show of hands, anybody? A couple of you. I see Shia. Excellent. Well, welcome to the wonderful world of real estate. I will tell you for being in it for 20 years or being around it. My wife's being a real estate agent herself, a realtor. Uh, we've seen some crazy ups and downs, and don't let it, you're starting off on a great foot being here today. Now, the big three platforms, social media wise, YouTube. YouTube actually has surpassed Facebook with the number of users. So 84% of users today use YouTube to watch video, discover product, hear about product reviews, things like that. 71% of people today are also on Facebook. Facebook having over 2.01 billion users. And of course, Instagram being, at 50%. So those are the big three. Now, funny enough, Facebook owns number one and or number two and number three platforms out there for social media, in this case, Facebook and Instagram. I want to say a little over 10 years ago, Instagram was actually going out of business. They were going bankrupt, and Facebook swooped in and bought them for $1 billion 10 years ago. And now it's number three platform out there of pictures and videos. So you don't have to do all three, at least one or two would be great. And as a matter of fact, today we're going to talk a little bit about how you can cross uh, post a little bit and content. So why? Why is this? Anybody here want to type it in chat real quickly to maybe fathom a guess? And I'm going to give you a minute to write this. Why is social media so successful? Anybody? Besides the number of people that are on there. And I'll give that a second here. Anybody? Nobody knows the reason why? Well, there are several reasons why social media is great. Ah, I see. Quick, quick getting info out to a lot of people. Obviously, that's exactly right, Nancy. Great way to learn new things. Awesome, Leo. Shia says self-service. Excellent, right? More far reaching than traditional. Absolutely. 5 billion people worldwide. That's a huge net to throw out about your services, right? Self teaching, it's free. Excellent. So I love these responses. The biggest thing of why social media is out there, people work with people that they recognize, right? You have your friends. And I love the fact people have these friends, hundreds, sometimes thousands of friends on social media, right? We see all these followers, and it's all about connecting with people, right? And why it works for businesses is that when they get recognized, people will want to work with them, right? Think about it. Would anybody ever go to McDonald's if you never saw or grew up around with that brand? Probably not. It looks like any other burger restaurant that's out there. But because of brand recognition, in this case, what we want to focus on is real estate recognition. People want go there because they have an expectation, right? Visibility creates familiarity. The more visible you are, so the more visible that you are to these 5 billion people, and trust me, you don't have to talk to all 5 billion people, maybe a couple of thousand, right? A couple of thousand people, if they are now becoming familiar with you, they'll start working with you, right? And the biggest thing with social media is consistency. My old mentor, Yoda, says consistency leads to brand trust, right? Trust leads to business success, and success leads to endless opportunities or possibilities for us. So, as long as we're consistent to be able to be visible and to be recognized by potential clients or current clients, people will start to use us. And if they start to use us and start to take advantage of our services, the more successful we'll be, right? People will pay for quality and quality, not just quantity, but quality, right? That's right, Joyce. You can target your audience. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. All right, so there is strategy to developing your social media. Like a car race, we need to have some sort of strategy, right? Without a strategy, you can't win or even be successful, right? Think about it. If you're racing a car, those car racers aren't really necessarily good in the beginning, but the more they do it, the more often things happen, the more they get into a certain routine and they become consistent at it, eventually they begin to win. Okay? Not everybody's, got that, but you know what? Those are important things. So, we've got a 3-lane content strategy. So, our 3 lanes. Number one, the authority lane, or what I like to call the fast lane. This lane only deals with real estate topics that you are an expert on? I know Joyce is an expert in, you know, in real estate, right, Joyce? What do you feel that you pride yourself on in real estate that you feel that you and no one else knows better than you? Is it working with senior clients? Is it working with first-time clients? Is it working with listings? What do you got? And I'll let her answer real quick. Yep, working with first-time buyers. Excellent, Joyce. So that authority, you're laying your your strategic lane in this case is only real estate for social media. Your videos, your postings, anything on social media is all about real estate. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? So that's what you do. You want to show people that you're an expert. Now, the second strategy is the connection lane or the inside lane. Now, some people think of the inside lane being a little bit slower and more, tricky. But basically, this lane, and it's not necessarily slow. It's just you're a little bit more strategic. But this is non-real estate topics that drive you passionately. These are passionate topics. Maybe in this case, Betty loves to travel. She loves international travel. And she just wants to talk about all the places that she loves to go to on all of her excursions. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? People begin to bond with her personally, and maybe she throws in, the fact that she happens to be a real estate agent. But no, most of the part is it's dominated by her personal interests. Now, the third lane, or in this case, the third strategy is the full track. It's a hybrid. It's a mixture of both, right? It's a little bit of real estate with a little bit of what drives you passionately and topics, things like that. So it's a mix and match of things. Now, it doesn't matter what lane you're in. You are the driver. You get to pick which lane you want to be in to make your social media successful. Some of you in this room might only want to talk about things that are passionate because maybe, again, for those of you new, you're not familiar or you're not comfortable just talking about real estate, right? You don't want to show that lack of expertise. Those of you might only want to talk about that because you are very private and you don't want to let other people know about you personally, and that's fine too. And then there are some of you in this room, like Leo or Nancy or Cindy, that might love talking about both because you know what? They're the well-rounded person, right? They've got just enough real estate knowledge to feel an expert in a particular field, but at the same time, they want to talk about the other things that they like, you know, cooking or traveling or whatever. And I love the fact that Joyce has asked, today is the 1 year home ownership anniversary for my under 30-year-old buyers. Excellent. Congratulations, Joyce. That's awesome. So those are things that you can do. You get to pick that. Now, the biggest thing with social media, no matter what lane you pick, you got to make your message stand out. And the reason why I use this image of NASCAR racing, the cars are all stock. They're all the same. Even though their look is a little different of who's sponsoring them, it all comes down to if all the cars are the same, what makes one car better than the other? It's the driver. So in this case, how do you stand out as the driver to make your car win your race? So how do we do that? We need to start thinking about visual content. There is a lack of visual content by a lot of people when it comes to this industry of posting those things that matter, whether it's pictures, video, or everything, right? Now, I'm going to encourage you to be a little bit more to step out, start doing more visual content, video, things like that in today's session. But what we're going to do is we're going to need to make those messages stand out. And why does visual content, why is that so important today? It's important because of we as human beings. We as human beings absorb 90% of data through our visual cortex, through our eyes, what we see. Now, funny enough, what we see, what we hear, things like that, or in this case, what we see, we actually remember 70% of it. Not just reading, but in video, picture format, you tend to remember things a little bit more. 70% more retention. And people respond 40% better to visual content. So, here are some examples of what I mean. These are taken from various different social media posts that I've seen over the years. Maybe you do a quick, simple infographic like rent versus own, right? Well, in this case, that little infographic talk about just the positives of renting and the positives of owning to allow a person to visually see the differences and allow for them to maybe say, what do I need to do in order to move from a renter to a buyer of a home? Here, I love this one off to the left. This one I found on Instagram. The point of view of your realtor is too honest. Simple, but he looks like he's 16 years old. But what I want to bring your attention to is down below here in his Instagram, he's got 45,000 likes for his little quick video. Something simple, right? Or maybe they like to post window cleaning. Some of you in this room, because we had COVID and not everybody had access to the chemical disinfectants, but some of you might not like those chemical disinfectants. Maybe you do a simple little graphic, right? Window cleaning 101, 1 part vinegar, hot water, plus a little bit of hot water equals a streak-free natural cleaning product with no extra chemicals. Or better yet, I love this picture here. Which backyard would you prefer? Now, speaking from personal experience, I was teaching this class a couple of years ago, and one of the agents in the class saw this picture. Which backyard do you prefer? And she went, can I wonder if that really works. And she happened to have two listings, one in Newport Beach and another one in San Clemente, or I'm sorry, Costa Mesa, both with gorgeous backyards, interesting views. And what she did was she took one single picture from both, right? And she just said, which backyard do you prefer? From the Newport Beach, it was the city lights view at night overlooking the ocean. And the San Clemente was just the mountain view with all the lights of the city. In her 20, she put that up there. Excuse me. And she told me within 24 hours, she had more than 250 responses. Half like the top picture, the other half like the bottom. And out of those, she made 4 sales. One of which happened to, or two of which happened to buy both of those properties for her clients. So something that simple. You don't have to overthink the wheel. You don't have to make it so super complicated. But what you now all of a sudden do is you give people something to all of a sudden start to think about and respond to for yourself. By the way, anybody like those? Maybe a couple of you? All right, so key things to remember here when it comes to visual or video. Short form video performs best, meaning that you want to keep it short, maybe right now under a minute and a half. The biggest thing, the first 3 seconds are the most important. And people remember visuals, visual content more than just text. So you can put text in there, but you don't want to make it text heavy. So you want to put enough information in there to all of a sudden grab their attention within those couple of seconds to then all of a sudden respond or reach out to you for your inquiry. Okay? All right. So video content does work, as we were talking about that. You have an online, or in this case, an on-camera personality. Let that show through. I know some of us may feel that they're introverted. Does anybody feel like they're an introvert in this room? Maybe a couple of you. I know a lot of people are afraid to be on video because, I've heard that for years. I don't like the way I look on camera. I don't like the way I sound on camera. You know what? Don't ever let that stop you. Don't treat the camera as if you're talking to an audience. Treat the camera as if you're talking to the individual. Maybe I want to talk to, I want to think about Alessandra or August or Leo when I'm looking at the camera because I want to speak to them the way I am, right? Those people will gravitate to my personality, right? You get to choose your energy level. You get to choose your energy level, right? Yes, we're maybe a little introverted. I will tell you, I am a big introvert. When I get to teach, that's my extrovertness. But I will tell you, it took me a good long time to feel comfortable in speaking with an audience, whether it was online or even in person. I used to break out in sweats, like literally really bad. And it took me time to work on that. But you know what? Over the years, you got more and more comfortable. You got to choose your energy level. You get to feed off the people that feed back to you, right? What we project out, we receive back. So we get to choose that high octane level or not. We also get to choose our comfort style. Are we a luxury car or are we the sports car? Now I know Leo is probably the sports car, right, Leo? You're probably, love that seat that just hugs you when you get into the car and you just like to drive, 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 right? Others might just have that comfortable approach. You like to be laid back. Maybe you, instead of looking formal with a tie or formal dress or what have you, you want to be out there and just be comfortable. You get to choose that. Remember, these are all things that people will gravitate to. Your style, you, the person, right? And at the end of the day, Joyce said it earlier, you get to choose your audience, your spectators, because those spectators will cheer you on to keep doing more. The only thing I ask is that you remember to be yourself. That's a big thing, right? You got to be creative. You want to be fun. You want to engage with people, right? You want to feel like you're obtainable, right? If you're putting things out on social media, whether it's a video, whether it's a post, always respond. Always look for those comments. Hopefully some people like you or hit those likes and what you got or maybe they ask you a question. Don't forget to respond. Remember, a friend is a source of information. As a matter of fact, a friend gives great information, gives great advice. People will always ask their trusted friends for advice and guidance on big, huge decisions, right? Guys, girls, right? When we started dating somebody new, didn't we always bring them in front of our other friends just to get their feel for that person? And what happens if that our friends didn't like them? Did we stay with that person? Probably not, right? In this case, your social media, if you become friends or have that relationship as a friend with those clients, now all of a sudden they're going to ask, "Hey, Hector, I'm a first time home buyer. I only have a 560 FICO score. Is it a good time to buy?" Right? Betty, have you ever been asked, is it a good time to list or buy right now? Hopefully, right? They come to you for that advice. You don't want to always say yes because it might not. But if you're honest and true and be yourself with these people, then they're going to come to you for advice. And when you show that you're giving that great advice time and time again, you're going to build such trust that you'll always have clients and you'll get referrals. By the way, and I'm going to go back here real quick, being yourself also requires a bit of vulnerability. We have to be vulnerable. Now, being vulnerable doesn't necessarily mean, you know what, I got to tell you everything about myself or, where you don't hold anything, that you don't hold anything back. Not necessarily, but it's okay to allow the person or people to see a little bit of who you truly are. Because that's the whole point of why social media exists, why it's so popular. People want to feel a connection with the person that they're friends with, right? And I'm sure most of us who have friended most of our school and classmates from, years and years ago want to reestablish those relationships. In this case, for real estate, we're establishing new relationships. All right. So, what's some green light content to talk about? Things that we should be talking about. Well, number one, we should be talking about the market. You have a plethora of tools at your disposal. You've got things like Realist, you've got InfoSparks, right? You're an MLS member, go under your links tab in the MLS, go to InfoSparks to look at statistical data. How many of you know your stats? Everybody wants to know information, right? You've got RPR, Realtor Property Resource. If you haven't used your member included NAR tool, this is a great tool. The charts, the graphs, the AI that's built into this tool is bar none the best. It's not just for pulling up uh, unlisted and listed tax data information. It will actually dive into the market trends. You can create content through social media on that platform. It is amazing. And if you want, I would love to teach you a class on the ins and outs of RPR to make you that much more to be able to connect with clients. It is a great tool, right? InfoSparks. If you know that data and another agent doesn't know their industry, people will always go with the expert. Community highlights. What's happening in the communities that you're marketing in? Like David Rivas. Anything happening in the community that you're marketing in? What do we have coming up? We have in March. What's happening in March? Anybody? St. Patrick's Day. Is the city or the community that you're marketing in hosting any special events during that time? Right? you can you want to talk about that. How many people are always surprised when they hear from friends or neighbors something that's gone on or that they went to some community event and yet you've lived in that community for a couple of years and you went, wow, I didn't even know that existed. Talk about those things. If you're a real estate agent working in a neighborhood, you should know everything that goes on in and around that neighborhood that people want to know about, whether it's the people that live there or the people that are wanting to come to live here. What does this community have or other areas have that other people don't have? Okay. David, Chino is hosting a new market. The city of Chino is an excitement. Excellent. I like that, Chino. Or I'm sorry, I like that, David. I like that, Chino. I'm sorry, I was reading that. But talk about the community. Okay. Talk about your personal interests. Let people get to know you. Remember that vulnerability. Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? Do you like to walk them? Do you like to if you're like me, our fur babies are the end all and be all, right? Maybe you like cooking. Maybe you like to eat and you like to have international food. I see Ramiro. I would love a training on RPR and InfoSparks. Excellent. Ramiro, talk to Nancy. We can probably make that happen for you. Right? Yeah, it can be a high level, but you know what? We can talk a little bit more about that. And if you want, again, feel free to email me or call me, and I'll be more than happy to do a deep dive with you. By the way, anybody here boating? I mean, you're out there, Citrus Valley, you've got Lake Elsinore, you've got the beaches, only a couple hours away. What fun things do you like to do in the areas, when you're not doing real estate? Have an excuse to bond over common interests, right? Like Leo, I know Leo Loera and I love to do tequila tasting from time to time. And he's an expert tequila taster. He surprises me about his knowledge. Not to put you on the spot, Leo, but just to put it out there. Education and FAQs, right? Again, to show off your expertise, educate your clients on the entire escrow process. How many of you know your escrow? The entire process when you do open escrow. You'd be amazed how many sellers and buyers don't know the process because their agents are afraid to tell them because they don't know. Educate clients on that process, what to expect, right? Maybe you sit down with a lender or a title rep to go over those processes in your education. Or maybe you talk a little bit about the contracts, right? What is it that has changed about a contract that people need to be aware of? What does paragraph 3G3 mean in the purchase agreement. Is it something automatic? No, it's a negotiated term. But hey, buyer, maybe if you can't, you're wanting to alleviate some of your costs, here's a way that we would do that. We can ask the seller, whereby you and the seller can now negotiate my fees for representing you on the buyer's side. You know, talk to people about that. A lot of people don't know that, right? Now, if there's content to talk about, there is also content to not talk about. I call this the red light content. Stop, don't do that, right? Don't talk about the type of content. What kind of content do we not talk about? Polarizing topics, things that will polarize your clients, right? Things that will all of a sudden cause conflict, right? We got to be careful not to do that, right? What are some of those topics? Politics and religion. Anybody here remember it used to be rude to talk about politics or religion at the dinner table? What always happened at the dinner table? It always caused a fight, right? Well, same thing with social media. It doesn't mean that you don't have an opinion, but if we're trying to use social media to earn our business, we don't want to alienate 50% of our clients on a different view, right? It's amazing today, in today's age, how volatile people get over politics and religion. If somebody wants to talk about that, maybe you tell them this is not the avenue to do it here. I'm sorry, but and you utilize some sort of etiquette. Hey, I'd love to take this offline, talk to you about our your views, let you be heard, but here on this platform, this is not the place for that. So please respect my friends and of course me for not talking about it here. Right? Do those types of things. Don't be afraid to. Even though you may agree with that person. You don't want to be that agent or that business that all of a sudden you have 1,000 people, friends and colleagues and all that other stuff that you've worked hard to build, and then all of a sudden one post you lose 50% of your clients. So be careful of that. Also, be careful not to criticize or judge others. Every realtor here lives by a code of ethic, right? NAR's code of ethics. This is why this makes you as a realtor stand out. We don't criticize others and we don't allow others to criticize people. That's part of our code of ethics. I want to say, and Nancy, if you know the code of ethics, I'm wanting to say, is it Article 15 of the Code of Ethics? That it's a realtor's obligation to protect other realtors from criticism or misrepresentation or something like that. I think it's criticism. We're here to defend each other, right? But at the same time, we don't put other people down. And what does that say about you and your business? If you're there criticizing and judging other people, what does that say to your friends that want to do business with you, but all of a sudden go, oh, if I say this or this person finds out about me, that person might judge me. Nobody wants to be judged. All right. And also, selling in the wrong place, the wrong venue, right? We don't want to sell things in the wrong place, right? That's like taking your car to a car show where other people are displaying what they've done to their car, or maybe you take the car to the car race and right there in the middle of the track, you put a for sale sign in your car. Certain places are meant to have are meant to be sold in certain places, like Facebook business page or Instagram business page. That's where you sell yourself. That's where you sell your business. You can always reshare that information to your personal Facebook or your personal Instagram, but they want to see you doing business in the business platform first and foremost. So be careful of what you do, right? Don't invite somebody to, hey, here's a wine group that I started on Facebook, and in the wine group, all you do is talk about your listings. Hey, I've got this listing for sale, or hey, I've got a buyer wanting to buy a property. Nobody, that'll get people to leave your groups so fast. So don't sell in the wrong place, right? Don't sell services. Now, what's your timing? The timing belt. Timing is off, we're going to misfire, right? Our engine's not going to work to the best of its ability. Our job is to have a schedule, right? Not all postings. So we need to make time for that. It's all about time management. And I know the biggest thing in here today, people are going to go, Tony, when do I have time to do all this? Do I have anybody that feels that way? You're inundated with so many things, supposedly, and you just don't know if you have time to do anything. This is where AI can help you. This is where we have our calendars, right? We live and die by our calendars. How many of you actually have a calendar on your phone that you use? I hope everybody, right? Yep, I see Alessandro, you know, thumbs up. Jessica, I do, right? Real estate agents live and die by their calendar. And I'm gonna, oh, here we go. Lowered my hand because I forgot nowadays with Zoom, you can raise your hand by just putting up your hand in front of your camera. All right, because not all postings are the same, right? When posting to your social medias, look to customize the best time or look at when the best time your post will be viewed. Okay, real quickly here. Best times for Instagram, Mondays 10 to 4, Tuesdays, right? But Fridays is 11 to 2, right? Twitter, Facebook 9 to 11, Pinterest, YouTube, things like that. Now, with that, you got to make your schedule. Once you decide your posting schedule, book your calendar and stick with it. Now, here I have an old Facebook thing where it says 3 times per week. Unfortunately, I should scratch that out and say 3 times per day. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to be on Facebook all day long, but at least a morning, a noon, and a night for 5 minutes. Post something, okay? Now, best driving tips when it comes to social media. Thursday and Fridays between 1 and 3 are considered the best times to post on Facebook. So post your weekend open houses then. That way, people getting ready to want to see what's happening for the weekend sees your post about your open house. Schedule an event on your Facebook business page. That way, people get notified and maybe like it and maybe want to tune in to your open house event. Maybe you do it virtually, right? Or do both, a virtual and an in person. Business posts, businesses post an average of 8 times per day, and that's because of the algorithms. I'm only saying, or I'm only asking at least 3 times a day. Okay. It's interesting because Facebook and Twitter and Instagram wants to see usage, not time spent. They want to see that people go on a regular basis. And because you're hitting it more often, or you're going there more often, whether it's to respond to other friends and colleagues or you post yourself, they're seeing that you're using their system. So now, whenever you do post, your post will get seen by your friends and your likes and all that more often than not. I want to say if you go at least 3 times a day on Facebook, 4 out of 5 posts will always be seen. And that's 3 times a day. Okay. By the way, images and videos count for 75 to 90% of all Facebook ad performance, whereby 26% of Facebook users who clicked on an ad reported making a purchase from that ad. So if you're doing a ad about your listing or an open house that you're hosting or something like that, and people click on it, chances are 26% chance somebody's going to buy that product. In this case, maybe if you're selling yourself, you are now going to get bought. And of course, 1 in 5 Facebook's videos are now live broadcasts. People want to see what you're doing in the now. They don't want to see you scripted. They want to see you live, right? That means if you trip, they're going to see it, makes you more human. Okay? If you're doing a Facebook Live video about a property, get there an hour before the open house, right? So get your signs up, get everything done, and then do a Facebook Live an hour ahead of time. That way, anybody who can't be there physically, you can walk them through virtually. And you spend an hour. Maybe this is a great opportunity for you to sit down with a lender to go over lending on that property. But walk through the house as if you were walking an actual individual or an actual client. And you'll be amazed how many people look at that video. Okay? Just so you know. All right, some quick video tips. Equipment, tool. By the way, are there any questions? I know I've been kind of going at y'all for a couple of minutes now, but I want to respect your time. I'm going to, this is there, but are there any questions so far? No questions? All right. So, equipment, tools, camera, your mobile phone, uh, real easy. Nowadays, everybody's cell phones or most cell phones like iPhone or take 4K video, meaning four times 1080p, so it's super sharp video. Um, have some sort of microphone. What you really want is clear audio. A lot of times you've got your headsets that your phone maybe came with. It's got a built-in microphone. Plug it in your phone. Doesn't cost you a lot of money. Also, have some sort of video recording or editing software. iPhone users, you've got iMovie for free, so it doesn't cost you anything. You've got Movie Maker if you're a PC user, or maybe you use an online platform like WeVideo. So WeVideo.com. That's about $100 a year to do unlimited video editing and content, and you can you know, do amazing things with that. Record your screen, do video, higher quality video than Zoom. Uh, excuse me, things like that to put things together. I will say that overall, video today is the cheapest DIY do-it-yourself platform or tool out there in your marketing. You just got to do it. If you got to, do a video, and it doesn't take much. Keep it short. Small nuggets of information are best. 2 minutes if possible or less. Give the audience an excuse to want more from you. Don't give them the entire cow. Give them just enough glass of milk to want more milk from you. Okay? It's fishing, right? I don't dump the bait in the water and expect fish to jump in my boat. What do I do when it comes to fishing? I put the bait on the hook, throw the hook in the water, and let the fish grab it, and I reel them in. Which video, Zeta asks, which video editor app is best in my opinion? I personally like WeVideo only because I not only work on a Mac, but I also work on a PC. And my laptop, which is PC, um, doesn't talk or use iMovie. So with WeVideo, it's an internet video editor. So I can use any tool, whether it's my phone, whether it's my computer, whether it's my laptop, anywhere in the world to access and create video on the go. So I find that pretty darn easy. Instagram's got some minor video editing, and I do believe YouTube has brought back a very, very simplified video editor to allow you to shorten either the beginning or the end or splice out some of your video. But I think WeVideo is pretty easy. Now, if you're a Mac user and Mac user only, like iPad, Mac, and your iPhone, then iMovie is the best because it doesn't cost you a dime to use it. So it just depends on you. All right. Timing and consistency. Ideally, agents should do at least a video once a week. But I can tell you right now, if you've never done video before, which a lot of agents haven't, no one can do this. Think about it like working out. You got to build up to it, right? You can't expect to go 0 to 100 right away because things could be a little scary. That's okay. Build up to it. Do at least one video a month. If you do at least one video a month, you put on your calendar, I want to do one video a month. Doesn't care. I don't care what video it is or what type of video it is. If you do one video a month, before you know it, at the end of 12 months, you've got 12 videos. And then you do another 12 videos, another 12 for the next 12 months. Now you got 24. And then you got 36 and 48 and so on and so forth. And as you do it more often, the better you'll get. Again, no one can be great right out of the gate. You have to build up to it, right? You might say a lot of ums, uhs, right? But you know what? When you start to look back at those older videos, you'll probably laugh at yourself. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how not gray I was, or how many ums can I say in 2 minutes or less, right? The more you do it, the better you'll get at it, right? The more comfortable you'll be. And who follow you and subscribe to you will all of a sudden see that about or progression from it. Okay. By the way, depending on the type of video, your video schedule could vary. There are quarterly, monthly, weekly, um, yearly videos, and of course, videos on the fly. Real quickly, type of content. Type of content. For those of you who don't know what to post in this presentation, you're going to get at least a 30-day content, something to post every 30 days. Don't care what it is, if you repeat it, whatever. Here's at least 30 days. Better yet, here's 30 different topics to talk about, right? Top 5 reasons why a buyer, a seller, a investor, a first-time buyer should buy in that community. Maybe 5 things you need to know as a first-time buyer, or someone who's thinking about investing for the first time, right? Halloween, Thanksgiving, holidays, things like that. Types of videos to produce about you. People should learn about you. Should take 30 seconds. Take your phone today, after today, go to your camera on your phone, hit the record button, and just talk about yourself for 30 seconds. Who you are, what you did, or what you like about real estate. Maybe Leo goes, hi, this is, Leo Loera of Jack and Jill Real Estate. I've been in the business for 18 years. I work with buyers, sellers, all in and around Citrus Valley, California. I know the contracts. I'm a great negotiator. But better yet, I'm a great husband and have 5 kids and all that other fun stuff. Obviously, listing videos. For those of you who are listing agents, you should always do a listing video. It is amazing how many listings do not have videos on their listings. I want to say about 15% only have a video. Yet 75% of today's consumers want or need a video before making a purchase decision. And I do believe that in 2025, that 35 or 55% of home sales happened from just the video, where the client never went to the property physically. They just watched a video before making that purchase. And that probably is because a lot of relocations. So think about that. If you're not doing videos for your listings, you need to get them done, right? If not you, ask your photographer to make the video for you. By the way, client testimonials. Do I have anybody closing escrow anytime soon? Maybe in the next week? Anybody closing escrow? Day you close escrow, you go to hand the keys either to the buyer, or you're signing you're delivering that net paycheck to your sellers. Ask them, if you don't mind, could you speak 30 seconds on video and tell me what you thought about my services? And sit back and let them speak. That's going to have so much more impact than any written word. And heaven forbid, I know I always get the one question. Can we get this presentation? Yes, Rochelle, you're going to get that. I'm going to have you have a scan a QR code to get this here in just a minute. By the way, market updates, things like that. Real quickly, the meet and greet. This is where we're coming up on that finish line, right? Once you make that connection or you've established it, now is the time to get that person offline and meet and greet them, right? This is where that online personality has to meet our offline personality. The person that they've gotten to know and trust online, they now get to solidify that deal, that's friendship, right? No matter what, I don't care what big companies say today, real estate will and always still and will always be a face-to-face business. People need to feel that this is their home. You are buying and selling people's memories. I can't say that enough to real estate agents. They need to get to know their agent. They want to feel that they're in good hands. And of course, the property that they're trusting you with to either sell or buy for them, it's in great hands. This is where we need to get them face to face. And this is where a lot of people who are just used to being online has to learn to have social skills to be in front of them socially. Some of us, veterans in this business who didn't start off with the internet, but started face to face socially. Now, all of a sudden, this is where we get to pull that digital aspect in. And now we're well rounded agents to now fully service our clients, to fully service that relationship, right? Because if we know that we can get in front of them, we can get them to sign on the dotted lines, right? By the way, you want to win this race by making and forming those relationships. You want to earn those connections. You want to get others to like you and then ultimately meet up and close those deals. That's how we win that race. Now, before I end this here, I want to give everybody a quick ethics and MLS reminder, right? Things to remember. Be mindful of the MLS rules and regulations and the Realtor Code of Ethics. MLS Rule Regulation 12.8 states that a listing shall not be advertised in any media, including the internet, by a participant or subscriber other than the listing broker, right? Without prior consent from the listing broker as provided by 12.16. What does this ultimately mean? Means that if you're making a video at another agent's listing, you need to make sure that either the listing agent or the broker has given you written permission to do so. Okay? Now, why is that important? Per the listing agreement, it's between the seller and that listing broker that states that the broker is responsible for any and all media that's done or allowed to be done at the property. Heaven forbid you as a bystander take a video and it's something that they've designated in their agreement, like the photo image agreement of what is and is not allowed to be photographed or videoed in that property. Because now, if say Leo walked into my listing and started videotaping, and then all of a sudden he took a picture and posted it out there to the world of where the Monet was, of where my client has a Monet, now everybody in the world knows where that is, which now puts my property at risk. Or, heaven forbid, Leo says something incorrectly. Oh, it's only a 1,500 square foot home, when in actuality, my listing says it's 2,500 square feet. He's now said something erroneous, which now could hinder my client from getting that property sold, which now puts me on the hook because I allowed it to happen. So be mindful of that. You have MLS rules and, of course, your code of ethics. Article 12, the perception. You don't want to give the perception that this is your listing when it's not, right? Like in advertising, if we're advertising another agent's listing on our print material where we have to give the full address and the listing brokerage and the listing agent's name on that listing because it's not our listing, we have to do the same in our video. We have to say this property is listed by Leo Loera of Jack and Jill Real Estate. So we got to be careful when we're taking videos at other properties for other agents or that are listed by other agents. Okay. So be careful of that. All right. All right. So real quickly before I leave this presentation, because I'm not leaving anybody yet, Nancy, do we have a couple of extra minutes? Does anybody want to stay for a couple of extra minutes to go over any content, or because I know we're at the 1 hour here?
Yeah, we can stay just for like I have a hard stop at 11:15, so
At least
10,
5 more minutes?
15. Perfect. Yeah.
Excellent. Because I want to go over a couple of ways that we can use or generate content to help us. But For those of you who wanted a copy of today's presentation, please feel free to scan the QR code that's on the screen. But I want to thank everybody here. Does anybody have any questions so far or at this point? You're welcome, Rochelle. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Alessandro. Take care. But if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. My email is Tony, Tony, at smart, S-M-A-R-T, resolutions.net, or feel free to give me a call at 949-235-8582. And I want to thank everybody. So I want to thank everybody here for going through this presentation. But before we do that, let's go over some fun things here real quickly. So maybe you want to come up with some unique content. Oh, and by the way, in this presentation, I do have some homework for you to help you keep on track. Um, Topics, did you post? So it gives you a nice little to-do list in this case. All right. So how can we utilize some different ways of posting to our various different social media platforms? Well, I love AI, ChatGPT. Um, I love going over different fun ways of coming up with types of content. Now, here I developed one that I'm going to use in conjunction, but if we started a new chat, we could basically ask AI, because a lot of us go, well, what do we talk about? How can I'm not very good at social media. I'm just beginning out. Well, we're going to use AI as our assistant, not a tool, but our assistant to help us. So maybe I just write a quick prompt in here. Please help me develop a social media content platform for my new real estate business for the Citrus Valley uh, area of California, where I want to market to uh, homeowners on the importance of listing their home in today's 2026 real estate market. Okay. And now all of a sudden with this, I have AI. Oh, I love this direction, new market, mini media, and it starts giving me step one, step two, step three on what I can start to do. Now I can start asking it follow-up prompts on how to utilize and implement step one. Maybe I go, you know what? This is great. Hey, how do I begin to define my graphic brand, right? When we say Citrus Valley, are we primarily talking about the cities like Redlands, Rialto, Colton, Fontana, San Bernardino? Now all of a sudden I go, all right, well, per step one, I like to focus my business in the Rialto area, right? Now all of a sudden it starts building up. And then I go, oh, I like this sample 30-day content calendar, right? Week one, week two, week three. Now all of a sudden we can do this. Those of you who are talking about time management, here we go. Um, these are great. Can you now help me develop a daily schedule where I implement the social media content, but have time to cold call past clients, door knock, 200 homes, eat 3 times a day, work out for 30 minutes, and spend time with my family. Now, all of a sudden, I'm asking AI to help me with my time management. So now, AI not only being my assistant to develop social media content, but now can all of a sudden schedule my daily schedule, where I can now ask AI if I have it linked to, say, my Google Calendar because I'm paying for ChatGPT or I'm paying for Gemini, which, by the way, Gemini is with your Google Chrome. Now I can say, put this on my calendar. Or how do I put this on my calendar automatically so I'm not putting everything in manually? So now I have my AI assistant doing my entire workday for me. So now I have something to do each and every day. But I've now got my necessary content. Post a reel between 2 and 3, right? Post it, schedule a carousel. So now I can start to elaborate how to do these things. Now, another cool tool that I love is Canva. This is a great $120 a year tool. This is your full design suite. I can design presentations, I can design documents, I can design flyers, I can apply my branding, right? Well, here, what we're going to now do is with the use of AI, I'm going to develop a way, and I'm just going to go back here, that I can say, please create me 10 words that would describe the benefits of real estate technology training. Or better yet, back at this strategy, I go, you know what? Can you please create uh, a list of one words uh, of one worded items on the benefits of using a realtor, right? And please have this as a downloadable CSV file. And I'm .csv file. And the reason why I'm going to do this is I'm basically making an Excel style spreadsheet of a list of words that I'm going to use in my marketing. Now, what I do is that after it creates this list, here we go, we got a downloaded list. I'm now going to download this onto my computer. Okay. The benefits of using a realtor. Okay. Now with social media or with Canva, what I'm now going to do is I'm now going to create a social media post for Instagram as an example. And maybe I'm just going to create an Instagram um, post. And now I'm going to be given my templates. Now, what's nice about this is I have a plethora of templates. I can modify whatever templates I want, which is great here because now what we're going to now do is I'm going to very simply type in, I don't know, real estate. And maybe I find one here, new listing, and I'm going to select this picture. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to modify this picture. Maybe I put in my name of my company, 123 Main, or sorry, real estate group, right? But now what I'm going to do with this paid service is I'm going to be given a choice here called bulk create. Now, what I'm going to do is under bulk create is I'm going to now say upload some data. Now, that data I'm going to upload is I'm going to upload that Excel spreadsheet. So what I'm now going to essentially do with this tool is I'm now going to create multiple postings. So now I'm going to open this up. I'm going to select the area of where I want the words to go. And from here, I'm now going to click on these three dots and I'm going to say connect that data. So I've uploaded the Excel spreadsheet. I'm now going to reference it to go here on that selected line. I'm now going to come back over to the left, hit continue. Here are now 25 posts potentially. And now when I say create those 25 designs, so here I've got the one design that I've modified. It now says, all right, view that design. And now we're going to see all 25 posts. Now I can modify these, I can change these around a little bit, what have you. But now this is where the fun begins because we want to be able to set it and forget it, right? This is where when that $120 per year, I'm now going to come over to where it says share over at the top right corner. And under the share, there's a button here that says schedule. When I click on schedule, I'm now going to click on a day, at what time. When I go next, I'm now going to pick my social media platform, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, or better yet, maybe, whoops, and I'm going to say pages 1 through 26 to go out to this, and we're going to actually start scheduling it, right? And now when I hit schedule, I could write something. I can now all of a sudden have those posts go out to my social media on those days at those times. So the 25th of every month, or maybe for the next week, or for the next couple of weeks, I've got a post going out every week to my social media platform, which now I've streamlined my consistency. And I love the fact that it's now preparing everything. So we can streamline that consistency. So this is a great, easy way that you can do this quickly, easily to show consistency, to put out information. Now all of a sudden, you just sit back and start looking at the comments, or you all of a sudden start to post other things organically. But at least you got certain things going out at certain dates and times. Does that help anybody? Are there any questions? See, a lot of you stayed. Thank you. So, if you do have any questions, again, I want to thank everybody for their time. My name is Anthony. I work at Smart RE Solutions. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much. Thanks, Jessica, for everything. Um, Nancy, thank you very much for this time. I really appreciate it. If you all do have any questions, please feel free to give us a call, 949-58 or 949-235-8582, or Tony at smartresolutions.net. And thank you all very much.